indicates that recent advances in integrated weed management in major field crops. The weed management, when we talk about anything, much, that means that is more important. Whenever we are very much careful about something, maybe, any kind of event, any kind of happening, any kind of incentives, any kind of awards, that is, then it has got its importance. That's why the topic itself indicates that there is a significant importance of the weeds in agriculture. Until unless we don't know about the weeds, we don't know about the problems, we don't know about the cause, we are not well prepared, we are not careful. That's why we would not be able to expect the output which we are expecting from the crop which is grown in weed-free environment. So that's why weed has got its own significance. When we talk about the weed is not any kind of plant, but it is a literary meaning of the weed is the concern. We cannot say, nobody can say that this plant is a weed until unless it is important subject to the conditions. Suppose, as we have been giving such kind of examples, that when we prepare the field for growing wheat crop, if by mistake some another crop plant is emerging, which we are not requiring, which we don't desire, that will be called as a weed in that particular situations, in that particular crop, in that particular season. So that's why weed has got its own importance. There are 30,000 species so far has been designated as weeds. So out of those weeds, out of those designated species, all are not come across the field crops. Few kind of species are of great concern. When we talk about crop production situations, we have different kind of species are treated as weeds. When we talk about pastures, different kind of weed flora we are observing. When we talk about non-cropped areas, we have a different kind of weed flora. So the weeds nature is subject to the season, subject to the crop, subject to the climate and location specific. The weed flora which we have been observing in the hilly areas, we may not be observed that kind of weed flora in level land or a northern plains area where we don't have hills. So that is kind of the things. We cannot propose any one approach for their managements. We have to develop the weed management strategies for a particular locations, for a particular seasons, for a particular crop. So that is why we need to have, until unless you don't have any idea about the weeds, what kind of weeds are existing, which weed species is dominant, what is the occurrence, what is the extent of their occurrence, you cannot prepare any strong strategies for their management. Similarly, when we talk about household budgeting, until unless we don't know the items required for livelihood, we cannot make our budget efficiently. We cannot use our resources judiciously. So that is why all approaches are pertaining to a location specific. Okay, so as far as the weeds is concerned, it is all called the plant where it is not desired. A plant is unwanted. A plant growing out of place. These are different kind of species. These are different kind of definitions have been given by different peoples. So that is also their perception is subject to the conditions. If we talk why to control manage the weeds, if we talk about the weeds, there are different kind of pests, maybe insect, maybe diseases, maybe weeds, maybe rodents. So if you see across these pests, the extent of losses caused by weeds is the highest one. Okay, so if we talk in terms of monetary losses, about more than 90,000 crores per annum is estimated as a loss in terms of monetary terms of loss. And when we talk about we cannot produce our expected productivity until we manage their losses by making weed control, by controlling the insects and pests and diseases. So either we have a vertical increase or horizontal increase in the expansion of the area. So we don't have much scope for horizontal expansions. Only we have vertical expansions. Scope of vertical expansion is still there. And in that, we have involved in the development of new varieties, new genotypes, high yielding genotypes, high yielding varieties. Another part, we have to manage the natural resources. As you told, until unless we will not manage our resources judiciously, we are not going to get the expected realized yield of the crops. So every second, 3 people are born on this planet, maybe 5 people now, and every seconds about 1 hectare of productive land is get wasted, degraded. So that the way the speed you see our land is getting degraded day by day through salts, through salinity, or through erosions. There are many causes of degradation of the lands. So that's why we emphasize to have a water harvesting techniques. We have to adopt different soil conservation practices. We have to make the land degradation process reduced. So when we talk about about the weed managements, we must know their importance. How we can assess the importance? Suppose in direct seeded rice, I'm just giving one example, and transplanted rice, the losses caused due to weeds in direct seeded rice is more as compared to transplanted rice. So this is the effect of method of planting. Similarly, time of sowing. Similar is the spacing. Similarly, the selection of the varieties, selection of the optimum time. If we have a competitive varieties, maybe tall varieties, the reduction due to weeds will be less as compared to dwarf varieties. So that's kind of factors contribute in the loss caused by weeds. So this is the data where the crops are covering more canopy, suppose cowpea. In cowpea, the losses due to weeds is relatively less as compared to onion. Onion is a single stem crop. The weed infestation is more, and competitive ability of the onion is less as compared to green manure crop, maybe cowpea, maybe move. So these are the different range of losses caused by weeds alone in different crops. So if you see this sugarcane, Sugarcane is a long duration crop. Losses caused by weeds is literally less as compared to short duration crops. And the stem or canopy and growth of the plant is very high. So that's why these are the another problems is there are many weeds which are allergic to human beings, animals, and they harbor the insect and pests which may cause harms to our economic crops. See, Parthenium. I will give details on Parthenium. So now the question is why to control, when to control, how to control the weeds. These are the important three principles. Now we are talking when to control. Many farmers are following or asking, sir, our crop is full of weeds and it is 3 months old. What we can do? They used to ask such kind of questions in many debates when we have a Kisan Gosti, when we have any farmers meeting, when we have any TV programs, TV talks, radio talks, live phonic programs, then they ask the questions. Sometimes we say the time has gone. Now there is no options available with you except hand pulling. And hand pulling is also not advisable in some crops like onion, in potato, because there is a chances of damage of crops. Suppose a onion crop is 2 months old, 3 months old, and weeds are not controlled at the time of transplanting of onion seedlings. The weeds are there. If somebody asks you to put the hand hoe or some implements or hand removal, then that will damage the setting of the bulb. So that's why every crop has its own period, critical period for crop weed competition, during which, if we define the critical period of crop weed competitions, this is the period during which the presence of weeds cause highest loss in the economic crop yield, or the period during which, if you maintain the weed free situations, you will get the highest increment in the crop yield or crop productivity. So different critical period is different for different crops. This is on screen. Different crops. Similarly, oil seeds. Now, how to manage or control the weeds in major field? Our emphasis is only to manage. We cannot advise. We don't advise to eradicate the weeds. Weeds are also a part of our diversity. So they give, see, most of the crops, most of the germplasms are collected from wild plants, and slowly, gradually, they are converted into cultivated crops. So we don't want to disbalance our diversity. So we always ask, as you are the students of agriculture, always use the words to manage instead of eradicate or control. So manual method is well known. It is very, very largely used in many places of the country. But since the labor is costly, not available, inaccessible, sometimes suppose rain is continuous there for 1 week. Sometimes spiny weeds are there. You cannot go and remove from the hands. So in some situations, you cannot go for manual weeding. In that conditions, herbicidal control or herbicide management of the weeds is advisable. Herbicide managements, herbicides use is provides selective control. It doesn't harms the crop. It offers timely and we can use the herbicides in inaccessible conditions. Suppose rain is there, and if rain is stopped for 8 hours or 6 hours, in that conditions you can use the herbicides. So like that, herbicide offers some good results, but every good thing has its own disadvantages also. So problem of herbicides is there. We cannot rely only herbicide use. They can build up the residue that limit the choice of next crop. Suppose some herbicides are there, particularly the herbicide which are belonging to sulfonylurea group of herbicides. They remain persist for long. See the triazine group of herbicides, say atrazine, metribuzins, they are known to remain in the soil profile for months together. So in that situations, you are not free. You don't have any options to take any other crop in the succeeding sequence. So that is why there are certain disadvantages. Moreover, development of resistance is also there. If you use same kind of herbicide, same mode of actions continuously for years together in the same cropping system, then what will happen? Gradually, that weeds become resistant, and those weeds will be super weeds. So, and in herbicides use, you have to very particular about the time of method of applications, dose, and the conditions. You cannot use herbicide spray always. Suppose rainy is there, wind is very fast, then you cannot use herbicide spray. So there are limitations with the use of herbicide also. And it is all, Fowler's manner example is very much known to everyone, isoproton. Then gradually it has got resistance to many other herbicides. So no choice of taking herbicide sensitive crop as succeeding due to long persistence, as I told just few minutes back. So now we have to go for the concept integrated weed management system. How you will define IWM? This is nothing but is the all approach. Some people say manual weeding, chemical, biological, physical, mechanical, all should be combined. I will not say all these. All activities, even from the day you prepare the field and selection of the seed, which is free from the weed seed, is also one component of integrated weed management. Selection of FIM, which you are going to add in the field, is also an important component of IWM. How it is? Suppose you have taken unrooted FIM. Some seeds will be there. They will be viable, weed seeds. So they will be moved from the pit to the field, and they will germinate in the form of weeds. So that is why right from the beginning, selection of crop, selection of varieties, time of sowing, before sowing, land preparation is also important. Sometimes in case of creep seasons, I tell you, I am just giving so many examples. I am not going through all this PPT only. Suppose the field is there in the month of June or May, there is hot, you expose the soil deeper so that you can expose the deeper layer soils to the sunlight, and temperature is very high. That way, soil solarization plays an important role. It is a natural soil solarization. Secondly, after the onset of monsoon, there is a heavy flush of weeds in the fallow land. As after 10 to 20 days, there is a gap of 1 or 2 days in the rain, then you go in the field and plow it. So that way you repeat these things at least 2 times before the sowing of the kharif crops. That way you are adjusting the soil weed seed bank. And dear friends, you will surprised to see that there will be about 30 to 40% reduction in the weed infestation in your kharif crop. That way you need to apply one-time herbicides, or instead of 2 weedings you may require 1 weeding if you are not having any kind of herbicide use. So that is way. This is are the kinds of, sometimes method of planting, sometimes date of sowing, sometimes spacing is very, very important. These are the practices. Use of cover crops, intercropping. These are different kind of practices. These are the agronomy. This is the agronomy which helps to reduce the infestation of weeds in your coming crop. So, gentlemen, tillage system, critical period, alternative methods, enhance the crop competitiveness, and modeling how, if there are 10 number of weeds, how much they will reduce. If this kind of weeds, their canopy is very high, if only 5 weeds will be sufficient to reduce the 100% yield. So that kind of things, crop rotations, as I told, seed bank dynamics. If the dynamics is known to you, you can prepare a good weed management strategy. Hello. So this is
Yes, sir.
okay. These are the different complex fertilizers, cultivar selection, as I told you, genotypes, seeding rates, spacing, crop residue management, style seed bed technique, tillage practices, sowing methods. These are all combined together and help as a integrated weed management practices. So now, see, all management factors contribute at one place. Apply several herbicides with different mode of actions and overlapping the weed spectrum is also an important aspect, an important component of IWM. This is a figure which tell you total approach coming agronomy herbicide used for optimal control of black grass. Black grass is one weeds. They have applied different agronomic practices and they quantified the percent of each activities in reducing the weed population. So check. Check means no agronomic practices. Plowing, good plowing. Star seed bed technique, delay drill, seed rate, herbicides. So herbicide no doubt plays an optimum role. So manual weeding, as I told, most prominent. It is widely used, but mostly most intensive, and sometimes it is not possible. Different kind of mechanical implements are available nowadays. Power operated weeder is there. In most of the parks now the weeders are being used, power operated. So now lot of advancement has been done. So it is very easy to use them. So these are the different kind of, so hoeing is superior than mechanical. Different tools are being used. Their efficiency is being calculated in the form of tri yields. The concept of zero tillage. Zero tillage, in 93, there was a significant reduction in the yield of wheat crop due to phallus mine resistance. That time isoprotein has become failed and there was no options. So people harvest the wheat crop as a in the form of fodder due to 90% population of palisade. So that time, chlorinophos, phenoxaprop, and sulfur. These three herbicides came into existence, but they were effective only grasses. So broadleaf weeds become dominant. So these are that time the zero tillage concept has unviable options for growing the wheat crop this way. Zero tillage and conventional. This is the difference of populations. See, zero tillage population of Feldman was very less as compared to conventional. These are the 3-year studies conducted in the Palestinian dominant area where the resistance was reported. The resistance instance were reported from Punjab and Haryana. So concept of cover crop, that is competitiveness. Good crop is the best weed killer as told by Professor Pryor. So these are the different herbicides, how the population of wheat is reduced, how the increment in the grain yield is there. So these are the data. Canopy, I told the crop which are having high canopy, the wheat population will be relatively less. So crop rotations, if you follow different crop rotations, the wheat dynamics will be changed. Like that, rice, maize, mung. These decrease, that increase. Similarly, rice, maize, amaranthus spices decrease, Ipomoea increase. Upland rice, lowland rice combination that will also affect the wheat dynamics. Wheat dynamics means the change in the population of weeds. One weed increasing, another weed decreasing. Nitrogen levels. Don't apply nitrogen by closing your eyes. So sometimes excessive application of nitrogen also encourage the growth of weeds more as compared to the crop. Spacing is very important. Method of seeding, as it's very clear. Similarly, days after transplanting. Effect of drip and furrow irrigation system. Drip irrigation system, it is very good. It gives only water in the form of in the root zone only. So doesn't provide water to the weeds growing in between two rows. So furrow irrigation always increases the growth of the crop, growth of the weeds faster than crop. Another technique is soil solarization. Soil solarization is a technique, novel technique, in which we increase the soil temperature by 10 to 12 degrees centigrade higher than outside temperatures by covering the soil. A polythene sheet may be white or black, having thickness of 0.50 to 100 millimicron. This is the technique which no doubt costly. If you repeat the same kind of polythene materials year together, then it will be economical. So soil solution, as I talked, pathogens, polythene sheet 4 to 6 weeks, raise temperature 8 to 12 degrees centigrade. So that is also very good. It is good for vegetables growing because vegetables nursery is grown in small areas, but for large areas it needs some more care, more maintenance. Okay, so these are the different results of solarized plot, non-solarized plots. In vegetable also, different weed species, some weed species are, their population is reduced significantly due to soil solarization. That is, we have used soil solarization and IRI in cotton crop. Cotton crop is a widely spaced crops. Now you can see yourself, these are the polythene seeds and this number of weeds. If you see very close, this is unsolarized, non-solarized plot, and this is solarized plot. This after 2 months. So, and this soil solution is being used in the month of June, May, June. So after that, we will sow the soybean crop in the same field. This is my setup. So now we talk about herbicide use. We have taken a lot about, we have talked about this non-chemical approaches. We will go up to herbicide, then we will go to biological control method that is for controlling some weeds. So herbicide use in our country is relatively very less as compared to other countries. So how to control weeds quickly and effectively and safely by chemicals? Herbicide must be selective. Type of weed flora normally occurring in the field. Grassy weeds are controlled by only specific herbicides. So we can control both weeds in one single applications by combining grassy herbicides and broadleaf weed herbicides. So that way we can do. Now the recent era is that we are talking about the recent advances. Earlier we used to apply herbicides in kgs. Now the era of low dose herbicides having high potency. See, do you believe that 6 gram of one herbicide per hectare is recommended? In case of metsulfuron-methyl, its recommended dose is only 4 to 6 gram for 1 hectare area. So this much small quantity is enough to take care of weeds. So now the kg, atrazine 1 kg, isoproton 0.75 to 1 kg. So they were being used in the kgs, 240, 0.5 kg, 2.75. So that era has now gone. So the methods how we can apply herbicides, pre-planting, incorporation, pre-emergence, post-emergence, directed post-emergence, these are the different kind of things. Many people may not know the definition of pre-emergence herbicides. Pre-emergence herbicides are those herbicides which are need to be applied before the emergence of crop as well as weeds. So they are soil applied herbicide. And post-emergence herbicides when there is emergence of both, and that are called foliage applied herbicides. So this is pre-emergence herbicide. This is a case of pretylachlor, how it goes, how it acts. Post-emergence herbicides, they applied on foliage, they move from top to down. But in case of pre-emergence, they move from bottom to up. So these are the different herbicides used for different crops. Rice is a very important crop. These are the different weed flora: Echinocolla crusgeli, Cypress area deformis, Amelia basifera, Eclipta alba. There are many weeds. All three kind of weeds, maybe grasses, maybe broadleaf weeds, or and sedges. All three kind of weeds. Three kind of weeds are existing in almost all crops, but in rice, these are major ones. See, these are the Echinocolla corona, crusgeli, Dactyl mesotrium. This is episodal dilatum, Amelia basifera, Leptocoli chinensis. See, now this is myself. So this is a DSR, and this is a plant of Echinocolla crusgeli. This much is the gap. This much is the difference in the height. See. So now you can understand. So weeds is so much harmful to our crop. These are the grasses, some weeds. Different, Eclipta alba. These are all aquatic, Ipomia, Diger aravensis, Cypress area. Weeds specially grown in wetlands. Amannia basifera, just I told. Marsilia, Eclipta alba, Cypress deformis. See, very clearly you can distinguish between Cypress deformis. गांठ वाला गोबा उसको मोथा बोलते हैं. So these are the different. So spacing in rice also, spacing plays important role. Spacing influences weed incisions. The narrow spacing is superior to wider spacing in minimizing weed companies. So mulching is very important. With 15 days, with 30 days, without mulch, see the weed population. See the weed population, very clear. DSR, direct seeded rice. Mulching is possible only in direct seeded rice, not in transplanted rice. Brown manuring. What is brown manuring? When we grow green manure crops, maybe dhencha with rice and knock down it with the application of 2,4-D because it gets brown after application of 2,4-D. So, star seed bed technique. Effective against Leptocolia chinesis, Echinocola, Cyprus deformis, controlling weeds with non-selective herbicide followed by less disturbance. So, star seed bed technique is very important. Different implements. Conovidus is very good. It is good in both, even direct seeded also, even transplanted also. So herbicides, many new herbicides are available. Now dose. Now platilachlor, butachlor is not much in the market because the place has been taken by low dose herbicides. Bispirivec sodium, phenoxysulfone, azimsulfone, sulfone, xylobutyl, all Bispirivec sodium is, it is known to everyone. It is a so very small dose, 25 gram per hectare. Post-emergence herbicides, good for all existing weeds. So wheat crop, full of weeds. This is Phallus minor. This all maturity. This is, that is, jungly palak we call it. It is a name I will tell you, Rumex dentatus. So toxicity of metribuzin. If you go for higher herbicides dose, thinking that if we use higher dose, I will get quickly control of weeds. That is not there. They are poisonous. They are chemical. As human doctors advise the dose mg, 5 mg, 10 mg. Similarly, here the gram is always very, very important. And selectivity of herbicides is fluctuating. If a rate of herbicides is recommended, say example metsulfuron, 4 to 6 gram, if you apply 10 gram, the selectivity against the crop will be changed. It may toxic. So please don't blame to the scientist who has told to apply the recommended dose. So similarly, in maize, atrazine plus pendimethalin was very good earlier. Now the efficacy of atrazine and pendimethalin tank mix is reducing day by day. I will show the situations, new herbicides, post-emergence herbicides. I tell you, this is Tambotrin. I tested it for 5-6 years. Earlier it was applied 25 days, no effect, less effect. Then we preponed it time 20 days after sowing, no. Then we reached further lower, that's 15 days after sowing. So 15 days after sowing, it was very good. Okay, so good, all killing. See, this is it. See, this is condition of Tambotrin treated plot, maize, good, excellent. Now another herbicide, topramizone. Topramizone is another herbicide which also applied lows of 25 gram per hectare. See the condition. But still one weed could not be controlled. If you see, this is a Phyllanthus niruri. In Hindi, it is called Hajardana. So this is the situations, topramizone. See, lot of Phyllanthus niruri. See, now I will have taken one close-up photos. See, this is. But it is not going to affect much as the crop is already crossed the height. So similarly, on oilseed crops, Brassica carinata, Basalin, pendimethalin were used to use. It is a 15 years old photo. maybe 15, maybe 25 years old. So now it is latest photo, latest experiments, research experiments, Brassica. We have tried because pendimethalin is expected to be banned by the government of India. It was planned in the list, but it has not still banned. So in case of pendimethalin is a versatile herbicide. It can be used in many crops and very selective also. Though it is not able to control the late emerging weeds because its life cycle, its half-life is very less. It checked the weeds for 20 to 25 days. After that, the second flush of weeds starts emerging. So that is so to have the option of pendimethalin, we tried another herbicide, oxadiazole. This is pendimethalin plus hand weeding. This is my MSc student research. Oxadiazole plus hand weeding, good. Pendimethalin followed by imazethafar. Up to pendimethalin, it was okay. After imazethafar, the crop toxicity was there and 100% crop was failure. Gradually, धीरे धीरे सब crop पूरा बर्बाद हो गया. So this is imazethafar. So until unless you did not see the result from your own eyes, it is quite difficult to believe on the recommendations. So this is the crop. So these are the findings. We have published papers, good papers. So that is the now soybean, chlorimironethiol, classic, very good herbicide, post-emergence, and metribuzin. Metribuzin is recommended to 250, but at 5 it was toxic. Why I am showing these slides? That herbicide recommended dose good. It is selective. It will kill the weeds. It will save the crop. But if you play your own dose, if you apply your own prepared dose, maybe lower or maybe higher, selectivity range will be disturbed. So chickpea is totally covered by Canola cervensis. So onion, see, fluorochlorine was used. Now pendimethalin is okay. So these are the bioherbicides. Now biological weed control. These are the for academic purpose, but bioherbicides are the herbicides which are used, which are prepared from bioagents. So these are the Americans' findings they have prepared, but they are not effective. So now the classical examples of biological weed control is only the use of Zygogramma bicolorata against parthenium. It is a very good, it is a fabulous, results. But still, this Zygogramma bicolorata has its own, disadvantage that when there is a highest, then when there is extreme cold or hot, then it could not survive. See, present and past status of the parthenium. In 55 to 70, there were this much site which were infested with parthenium. Now, this is 2019, and in 2025, almost all part of the country is full with parthenium. These are the adult and larva eating parthenium. These are the insects we have released on parthenium. How we can use other method to reduce the population of parthenium? In area where parthenium is dominant, you try to spread the seed of marigold, maybe Cassia sericea, Cassia oxynidifolia, Taprosia. These are the replacing plants, though they are also weed except marigold. Marigold is not here, but marigold seed if you grow gradually, the Parthenium will run away from there. That is because these weeds are competitive nature. पार्थिनियम जल्दी से भाग जाएगा वहां से, पार्थिनियम में लड़ने की कैपेसिटी नहीं है. So कैसे सेरेसा, we have done research on this also. So these are the seeds. You can ask the seeds. Cassia serasa seeds is popular. Many agencies are being selling from Karnataka. So biological, these are the Mexican beetles eating on Parthenium. I have, when I was in IRI, in 2011 or something, we have selected some sites which were heavily, infested with Parthenium. This is genetic sites. Okay, so what we have done in some area, we have done some research that common salt or urea can be used to spray on the Parthenium. Common salt maybe by 10%, 1 kg salt, 10 liter water, we can spray on non-crop area. See, I am talking about non-crop area. You can use, because no farmers, if you ask any farmers, purchase 300, 400 herbicides and spray on the Parthenium in and around your house or in and around park, nobody is ready. So common salt is available, and urea with farmers, 1 kg urea, 10 liter waters, he can use. If somebody says that salt is maybe harmful for the soils, then you can go for urea. So these are the different, this is our former head, Dr. A.K. Vyas. He has visited the sites and he recognized that this is a very effective. So these activities we have done during Parthenium Awareness Week. These are our MSc or PhD students, and particularly who are offering the weed control course. So we have made many training programs during Parthenium Awareness Week. We have visited many villages. We have organized the meetings, farmers meetings. So nature of weed flora in Rabi seasons. These are the Rabi weeds. See, here we are sitting, until unless you are not able to identify the enemy, you cannot make any strategies for his prevention, his management. So enemy is weeds. So we must identify, because some herbicides are exclusively meant for broadleaf weeds. Some herbicides are exclusively made or manufactured or marketed only for grassy weeds. Some are for both. So that is why you must know the nature of weed flora existing in the crop, so that you can choose the suitable herbicides. So that's why jungly palak, Rumex dentatus, this is Chirogonium album, this is that is Rumex dentatus, and this is Phallus minor. This is Phallus minor. This is Avena fechua ludoviciana. This is Cornopus didymus. This is Melodus indica. This is Cirsium arvens. This is Convolvulus arvensis, and the खरीफ सीजन वीड्स साइनोडोडैक्टिलॉन. दिस इज डैक्टिलम रिजेक्टिव, मकरा जिसको बोलते हैं. दिस इज फाइलेंथस निरोनी व्हिच आई हैव टॉक्ड इन द मेज. दिस इज echinoccolana. दिस इज साइप्रस rotundus. दिस इज Commonella bengalensis, day flower. We also call it day flower. This is Dizer arvensis. This is Trianthema, साठी जिसको बोलते हैं. This is Helipium indicum, Camida. This is Parthenium non. This is Parthenium treated plots we have done. Wet revision was very effective. So this is a toxicity or symptoms of herbicides injury. This is Parthenium. This is apenistic behavior of herbicides. जो नाड़ तोड़ देते हैं herbicide, जो अप्लाई करेंगे तो उसकी नाड़ टूट जाती है. That is called apenistic. Motha. This is all field full of Cyprus rotundus, Argemon mexicana, Cannabis sativa. These are the practical class where identification is being done by myself. These are all, MSc students. So now it's very, very difficult and very, very important. So how we have to use the herbicides safely? It's very important. You have select a good variety, you have sown in time, you have applied fertilizers appropriately suitable, you have done all efforts, but you have not applied herbicides safely or in time or with proper methods, then all efforts will be failed. So how the pesticides or maybe herbicides may be used safely? Always keep in key and lock and key. All wears mask. You must know the category of the herbicides. Some herbicides are highly poisonous. Some are slightly toxic. So these are the difference. All label. Every herbicide has one of its label. Maybe red, yellow, like that. So don't eat anything while you are involved in applying herbicides or insecticides. If anything happens, immediately you must consult doctors. Never apply herbicides when there is a the speed of wind is very fast. Don't apply herbicides while there is a raining, or at least before 3-4 hours and after 6 hours of the rain, you must apply herbicides. बारिश के कम से कम 6-7 घंटे पहले हो रखी है और 6-7 घंटे बाद जो है, ऐसा टाइम डिसाइड करें कि आपका हर्बिसाइड्स ना तो वेस्ट हो और क्रॉप पे हो और आप अच्छी तरीके से अप्लाई करें. एंड बेटर यू अवॉइड द रेनी सीजन, रेनी डे. इनफैक्ट सीजन यू कैन नॉट अवॉइड, but rainy day you have to avoid for application of any pesticides, particularly herbicides. So these are the different methods of application. Different sprayers are available. So nozzles are there. Flat fan nozzle is always advisable for herbicides application. So this is a protected shield. You can have many kind of sprayers, maybe multi boom sprayers. So many nozzles are there. They are tractor mounted also. So, and to apply non-selective herbicides, you put the shield at the nozzles so that contact of non-selective herbicide with the crop will be avoided. So these are the gloves and everything you must be wear before applying herbicides. So these are the methods how to apply. You are very see, these are the very important parts. See, now this is a correct wind conditions. If wind is fast, then such kind of pattern will be released through the nozzles. These are the nozzles. Distance between ground to the tip of the nozzle must be 45 to 55 centimeters. So there should not be overlap. There should not be gap. Too much overlap, too much gap. Correct overlapping is this one. So herbicides application technology is very important. You have to take each and every aspects into consideration. Everything will convert into your crop productivity or efficiency of applied herbicides. So as I showed earlier also, method of applications, ground spray boom, multiple boom systems, tractor mounted, or फसल की सुरक्षा, किसान की सुरक्षा. If crop is safe, farmer is also safe, protected. Crop is protected, farmer is also well protected. So now recent era is herbicide crops. Now new tools. Earlier soybean was resistant to glyphosate. Corn was resistant to many herbicides. Now in India also, we are also moving in the same directions. this is the optimizing management and surveillance strategies for weeds. We need to have such drones which make surveillance for the weed flora. What kind of weed flora is existing in that particular area, so that we can make strategies for their management. Suppose in that area, entire Parthenium is there. Population maximum 80% population Parthenium. So then we can go accordingly. So the Parthenium, what kind of herbicide is required, how much area is to be treated, what way it is to be treated. So that's way. I tell you, for management of Parthenium in many states. So Parthenium is, very, very important source of NPK. But for making compost, it can be fully utilized. But Parthenium has to be harvested before flowering, before seed setting. It should be used for making compost. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash is higher than even FI. So, but we have to be very careful before seed setting. So, recent development happened in IRI is that IRI has developed some non-GM herbicide tolerant basmati rice variety, especially Pusa Basmati 1979 and 1985. These varieties are made tolerant to Amazotha fire. Amazotha fire is a broad-leaf killers. It also kills grasses, weeds, and this herbicide tolerant varieties are meant for direct seeded conditions. So now the seed is also being sold last in the month of June, May-June. IRA has sold the seeds of these varieties, and the rate is all 125 per kg. Seed requirement for 1 acre area is for DSR 8 kg. Amazotha fire, you can use product of Amazotha fire 10% SL, half liter for 1 acre area is sufficient, and it can apply through knapsack sprayer or power operated sprayers at the stage when the crop is sown after 20 to 25 days after sowing. So this is a recent advances made in the field of herbicide tolerant crop by IRI. IRI is taking lead role in developing herbicide resistant crops. So now the teaching is very, very important activities which I rendered in last 35 years. So these are herbicide resistant topic is being taught. So that identification, as I shown earlier. So these are the our MSc or PhD students. For identification of weeds is very, very important. So this is our practical class. So these are the experiments of my MSc students. Why I am saying that many students have been joined this, and we are imparting these training programs to the students of many universities. So student must know that what kind of work is being done. So these are my MSc students. This is student research. So in addition to the research or teaching, we have many functions with the students. Teachers' Day is being celebrated. Other teachers, students' parents are also visiting to the chairmans, and we have all cordial relations with with the students' parents and all. We take care of all social wellness of their students in IRI. So these are the symposiums, these are the deliberations. So activities of extension of each scientist is very, very important. In fact, we have been working for the cause of farmers. Whatever we have been doing in research institutes or universities, we are meant for farmers. Until unless any good findings doesn't reach to the farmers, our efforts are of no use. So that's why through farmers affairs, through farmers vichar gostis, through TV talks, radio talks, or training programs, we try to disseminate our recommendations, good recommendations, well-prone technologies. That is called dissemination of well-prone technologies. So these are the way how we can benefit the farmers. So Kisan's consultancy services are being provided by IRA. So training programs, Moradabad, we have one progressive farmers, Neelam Tyagi is there. She has running many activities, farmers oriented activities. She has developed the training program halls also. She is providing training to the farmers. She is providing many kind of farmers related activities. So the Kisan Gosti was held in Moradabad. So that kind of IRA is joined with the many NGOs, many farmers producing companies. So IRA also helps in making the farmers producing company or farmers producing organizations also. So this is Parthenium Awareness Week is being celebrated at IRA Division of Agronomy. So we have also gone to the government schools to aware the peoples that this plant is not ornamental plant. This is very hazardous to human beings, human health, cause many kind of allergies. Bronchial asthma is because of its pollen grains. So that kind of things are there. And the purpose of showing all these slides, he is here to make aware the students who are mistakenly not aware. So now TV talks, the way to disseminate the technologies. I'm very much fortunate to involve in the media and other things. So, and since, as I told you, Makhana ki kheti, I was also head of the department, research center Makhana Darbhanga for one tenure. And then I know the Makhana crop, so I'm also delivering the talks on Makhana. This is all weeds. We are telling what kind of weeds are emerging in the crops so that farmers can be benefited by this. So these are the different programs. And now in the first week, in the first few months after declaration of the Makhana board in Bihar, in this budget, lot of discussion has been held in channels also. मखाना बोर्ड बनेगा तो मखाने के किसानों का भाग्य सुधरेगा, क्या एक्सपेक्टेड इम्प्रूवमेंट होने की संभावना है, ये ऑल प्रोग्राम्स वर delivered. अपना community experts, so all in radio also. So these are now weeds management. So in nutshell, I tell you, use of traditional methods for weed management may not be practiced everywhere and may be cost intensive. So that's why we try to integrate all kind of possible approaches where farmers can use those approaches, say selection of crops, say selection of varieties, say time of sowing, spacing, all recommended packages of practices, which doesn't need any kind of money. These are called non-monetary inputs, non-monetary practices. They don't involve any kind of money. Suppose you want to purchase the seeds of particular varieties, you just check whether there is a adulteration of wheat seed or not. So from good source, have a billing, also everything. So that's way all you have to integrate so that you would be able to get minimum infestation of the weeds. It also includes the use of herbicides. Sometimes farmers are so busy, sometimes rainy season is continuous for weeks together. In that situation, farmers may not able to afford manual breeding. So he should have some alternative options for managing the fields. So we must emphasize on IWM. And dear friends, these are all about the my topic. I want to share some few things new, which will be new for few of you pupils, may not be new for all. If the organizers permit me, I can show some of the slides uh, related to the makhana cultivation, what kind of makhana, how makhana is being grown. That is my additional informations. If organizers, Dr. Anil,
Yes, sir.
if you permit me, I can show few of the slides.
Yes, yes, sir.
So please, okay. So additional information to the young students about makhana. I had been there as a head research center for makhana, Darbhanga, Bihar. So this is a office of makhana. Now it has become institute, NRC on makhana. So these are the fields of makhana plots. Now earlier makhana was used to grown in pond तालाब जिसमें 9 फीट पानी होता था, 8 फीट पानी होता था. Now we have brought makhana from pond to field. 1 फीट, 1.5 फीट, 1.5 फीट तक पानी रखो, 1 फीट से, और मखाना इसमें लगता है, नर्सरी तैयार होती है. और दिस इज सी मखाना प्लांट, इंटायर प्लांट, इवन फ्लावर इज विद फुल ऑफ स्पाइन्स. बहुत बड़े बड़े कांटे होते हैं. अनिल, डॉक्टर अनिल,
Yes,
hello,
sir. Yes, yes.
can I speak some words of Hindi so that people can understand?
Yes, yes, sir. No problem.
See, this makhana plant is full of spines. You cannot touch even flower. See the flower. So, see flowers, very beautiful flowers from outside. If you touch it, lot of spines. You cannot enter in the field. So this is complete. Inside it, there are seeds, makhana seeds, which will later convert into lava, which we eat. So this is the way. See, इसमें मखाना के पौधे थे और उनको काट दिया, और काटने के बाद वो सड़ गए विद इन 15 days. देखिए, अब यहां आपको दिखाई दे रहा है कोई पौधा. दैट इज गुडनेस, दैट इज गुड थिंग इन मखाना प्लांट, दैट दे डिकम्पोज वेरी फास्ट, very very fast. They decompose very fast, and now pupils are collecting seeds. So seed is like that. Seed is like that. I am standing there. Another scientist. So this seed is being collected. It is already, after collecting the seeds, it is to be kept in the water only. Otherwise it will spoil. See, this is the seeds which got spoiled because up to December it was in the water. So in August it was kept in the water. September, October you have to make the lava. Otherwise it will start sprouting. Once it is sprouted, its makhana cannot be made. Lava. So this is a seed, this is lava, which we use to eat in the market, which we purchase from the market. So this is a popping machines, but it is highly, it needs high power. Still modification is going on. So this is a traditional method of making makhana. This is, thanks all.